Hello and welcome. And in this tutorial video, we're going to be looking at the HackTheBox machine called SecNotes. So in order to start straight away, you could do a quick scan. So we do nmap nc sv and then the IP address 10.10.10.10.97. So I've already run this scan to make this video quite short. And I've got two scans here. I've got a full scan and a normal scan. So if I cut the scan, let me make this bigger. We can see we've got a port, an HTTP service running on port 80. We've got SMB running on port 445. And that's just about it. However, I did another full scan, which involves doing nmap-p-10.10.10.97. And that would take a lot of time. And I was able to find additional ports open. So if I do a cat full scan, we can see port 80, port 445, and also port 8808. So straight away, let's have a look at what's going on port 80. So the 10.10.10.97. And we'll be presented with a login page. What we can also do is, because SMB is open, so I just got my cheat sheet here. Just going to make this bigger and do a quick search on my SMB commands. And what we can do with SMB is we could do enum for Linux. So enum for Linux 10.10.10.97. And trying to see if the scan is going to find any SMB shares, any null sessions that we can actually remotely log in to see if we've got anything on this machine. So you can see can't find work group, and somehow SMB enum for Linux does actually bring out any results. So if we try to do SMB client, okay, so SMB client -L, and then we give the IP address 10.10.10.97. It's asking for a password. I haven't got any password. Press enter, and we get this access denied. So nothing actually quite happening there. So we focus on the HTTP port, and we can see we can try to sign up. So sign up. Sign up with a user called Alex, password 123456, 123456, submit. Then we try to log in, 123456, log in. Present with an home page where we could change password, sign out, contact us. But interestingly, we have this this email address, which is tyler@secnotes.atb. So we could create notes. So I'm just going to call this test, hello world, save. And we can actually view this note. However, nothing actually is quite interesting here. So after poking around, I found out that this web page is actually, or this web application is actually vulnerable to SQL injection. So if I do a list and cat commands, we could try this SQL login bypass to see if we could manage to get in. So I put in this, paste that in, password 123456, log in, and it says no account found for this username. So we can try to sign up. So I pretend just use this as the username to make it easier. Use this as the password as well. Paste, submit. And then we try to log in. So, and then password, same thing as well, and try to log in. Then we try, you can see we've been able to log in. So we can see this is the test script we created earlier on. However, we've got two other nodes. And there's one interesting one here that says Tyler. And this appears to be a sort of a kind of a password. Okay, so we could just copy this. I'll just copy all of this to a notepad. And this appears to be a kind of, a web page, SecNotes.htb/new sites. Have a look at this again. Years, nothing interesting. And then a note about how to make some sticky bombs. So this is actually a hint from the credentials we'll be able to see here, Tyler. Here, so I tried using this to log in as through the SMB service we found earlier on. So using this command here, so I'm just going to clear screen. So we do SMB client, and going back to my cheat sheet, so we could do SMB and try to log in as the user Tyler. So it's asked us for a password. We supply the password we found for the user called Tyler. Paste that in. And we have an SMB session. So question mark to see help. And we do pwd. We see we actually in this directory called new site. So if we do a list, you can see all the files that people have tried to put in here. So this actually is indicating that we'll probably be able to write into this directory and be able to execute scripts. So if I go onto my root directory, list, I've got a web shell. Okay, so this web shell, I've actually named it as commando.php. So nano, paste that in. And this is just going to, so we'll be able to, execute commands using a PHP script. So going back here, I could just do a put commando.php, and then I call this hello.php. So the put command doesn't actually exist, so I'm actually in a different directory. So let me just quit this, cd, and then try that again. Put in the password. And then put commando hello.php, commando.php, and you can see we actually got it. So if we do a list, we can actually see the file hello.php. So in order to access this, we actually have to go to the other port we found earlier on, which is 8808. Okay, and here we should be able to access the web shell. So hello.php question mark cmd equals ipconfig to see if we could actually execute shells. And we can see we've got the IP address of the machine, so we do have remote code execution on this machine. So the next thing I did was to cd go into my tools directory and then go on to Nishang list. We go into cd shells list and use this invoke PowerShell TCP. So we can cut this command, and it says here, if you have a look at this, we're able to execute a reverse shell using this invoke PowerShell reverse IP address and then the port number for reverse shell. So I've already done this. So if I go back, cd tools list, I've called this reverse PS1. So let's cut that. Okay, so it's the same script. However, at the end, I put in the invoke PowerShell tier. So when this is downloaded using PowerShell, it would be able to execute the shell. So if config, it's on 0 to be sure my IP address. So my IP address is consistent. So 10.10.10.10.14.63 on port 123. So I'm just going to start Python HTTP server. If I could spell, Python-m simple HTTP server on port 80. Open a shell. So nc nvlp 1234. Just going to put this always on top. And then if I go back to my initial directory, so cd atb cd SecNotes list, cat commands. Okay, so we could use this PowerShell script to download the file and have it execute automatically from the web shell. So from here, I'm just going to paste this in, click on enter, and hopefully we get a shell. So if we go in here, to know that, we could just wait to see if it downloads the script. So if it downloads the script, we should be able to get a shell. Okay, so we can see we got a connection and then we got a shell. There we go, PowerShell prompt. So cd dash dash to there, list directories. We could actually run a who am I to see who are we, who am I. Just make this bigger. So we're the user tiler, so you can see. So go to cd users, dir, cd desktop, no, so there's no desktop directory there. So cd tiler, list, or dir. Then we go to the desktop, dir, and there we go. We can actually have the root flag. So you could just do a type command to read the user flag txt. So I wouldn't do that, but that's how you do it. So you just do type user.txt and then click on enter. You should be able to get the MD5 hash for the user flag. So after poking around, so we go back, cd dot dot. Okay, this is quite interesting. So I went to this directory called distros, listed the directory. We have a directory called Ubuntu, dir, and then we can see we've got Ubuntu exe and some other Ubuntu files or Linux files run actually in here. So after poking around, I found out that this is a Windows 10 box, and there is, in Windows 10, you can actually run Linux distributions in Windows 10. So I found out that it's possible. So going back to here, after a lot of digging, I think I've got this on my bookmarks. So Windows Subsystem for Linux command reference. You can actually run bash shells or bash commands in a Windows environment. So here it says you can run bash-c and then the list and then Linux command, using these codes. So we do bash-c and then we do list, or we could just do id first. The box is actually slow, but we should get some results if everything goes well. And we can see we root. So this Linux installation or this Linux distribution is actually run as root. So we could try to use this to get a reverse shell. So the next thing I did was to do pen test monkey reverse shell cheat sheet, and then found this one we could use. So here we could run bash -c to bracket. We'll put this in. Just have to make some changes. So our IP address is 10.10.14.63 / the port 9001 0 greater than sign and 1 that, and then just have to open a reverse shell as well here. So netcat.nvlp 9001 always on top, so we can have a look at that and just execute this, and we should get a shell if everything works out fine. Yeah, get a shell. And it says we're root. So root SecNotes. So if I do ID, root SecNotes, so cd/root. I was expecting to get the root flag here, but no, all we've got is a file system. So I did a long list, and then we could see other hidden files. So I went straight for the bash history. So we could cat paste that in to see what commands have been run. And here we get this interesting SMB client administrator, or possibly the administrator password. So I'm just going to copy these out. Okay, and that will repeat the same thing we did earlier on, but this time we'll be accessing the C dollar share on the SMB service. So let's just go back to our SMB share, quit our SMB share. And then this time around, we have to then access this share. So C dollar as the user administrator. Access for a password. We supply the password from here until here. We copy that in. Supply the password, paste, and we get an SMB session. So question mark, or we could do list. We can find different directories. We go to CD, users, list. Okay, we go to CD administrator, add, can't spell that correctly, so administrator. Yeah, directory, check in there. Go to CD desktop, list, and then we got the root flag. Okay, so in order to see the root flag, all we have to do is just type in get root.txt. Okay, and that downloads the root.txt to our machine. So if I go in here, I do a list, actually got root.txt waiting for me. So if you just cut that, we should get the flag. So that is the box. Oops, sorry for that. I think I just typed something, pressed on something there. So that is the box. We got a root shell, and then as admin, logged in as admin, we're able to get the root flag. So if we just do cat root.txt, so I could just do wc-c root.txt, and we can see we got possibly 34 characters in the root flag. So that is the box. I hope you enjoyed it. It was quite tricky. I think the most tricky part of this is actually knowing that you could actually run Linux commands within a Windows environment. So I hope you enjoyed that, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.